So what I'll try to do is take this blast output and see how far I can get with it, and just to show you the steps that I take. First thing I'll do is kind of clean up these columns. A little trick to do that is text to columns. So we split, now we're just making it cleaner. That's just the contact ID. Delete that. I'm going to do the same thing here. One thing you have to keep in mind is that you need to make sure you have plenty of spaces adjacent to it, so otherwise you're going to overwrite thing. Same idea. Here's delimited. This is key. This is a Swiss-Prot identification, and what will be used to get more information about the gene. This is the name. We'll keep it. So we'll simply just clean up the sheet a little bit. Everything else is probably fine. To be honest with you, I think we'll get rid of some of these E values. Just make it easier to deal with and more realistic. Anything greater than 10 to the 1 to the minus 10th I'll just pull out. You could always pull this out later too. Let's be a little conservative and let's change my mind to say 5. Okay. So now I think the sheet's ready to deal with. So the next step, so I bring up this mind map to kind of get you oriented about what I'm thinking. Annotation was done. This was actually done by Colleen at Cornell using BLAST against a Swiss-Prot database, the Uniprot KB Swiss-Prot, and that's kind of where we are. And now I want to kind of join these Swiss-Prot hits. I actually want to get an identifier, which I can get because I've got a table kind of indicated by this file accessible here. It's got the Swiss-Prot ID and the description. So she's provided the Swiss-Prot ID right there. take that, link it to this file, and get a description. And so we'll do that first as the first step, and do that in Galaxy. And then go from there to get the Go ontologies. So within Galaxy, first thing I want to do is get the data up in there. There's the data. Make sure it's saved. It's a tabbed limited file. Well, actually, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can choose the file and try that and see if that works. Okay, so it uploaded. Here it is. Looks good. The other file that I refer to is this one. It has 500,000 lines, ID, which is going to correspond to the ID in the new one, and then the name of it. So I'm going to try to join those. So it'll be 17, column 2, joined with Alright, so we have our data, and you see attached to the end, the right side is going to be the same Swiss-Prot ID that we see in the front, and now we have the nice little name of what the genes are for most of them. Alright, so that looks good, seems to have worked. The next step is to get some Go terms associated with these. This is the Swiss-Prot Go Association. Simply need to match up the Swiss-Prot ID, which is this column, column 2, with our original file. That joining finished, and as you can see, you have the contigs, and there's going to be multiple ones now, because for each one there can be multiple Go terms, and the Go terms are there. We'll point out that this entire history is public, so you can see all the data, plus importantly these two, and download these two base files, the Go Association and the Unipro Swiss-Prot title page, and they're all available at this address. So now what we want to do is download these and look at them in Excel. So to download, we'll just sorry if this URL might be easier to jot down on a sheet of paper if you're typing. All those are downloading just to show you where we've joined the Go ontologies. I did not take it to Go Slim yet, but it's the same idea. That was done in Galaxy, and now we're going to go back in Excel and just